A security guard caught a kid stealing a single $2 loaf of bread. The store manager, Mr. Graves, screamed, "Call the police. I want this brat behind bars." But the guard, Arthur, saw the boy's trembling hands and the hunger in his eyes. Arthur didn't call the cops. He blocked the manager's path and reached for his own wallet. He paid for the bread with his last $5, then handed the change to the boy. "The world is hard enough, son," Arthur whispered. "Don't let it turn you cold. Go." Mr. Graves was furious. "That's your second warning, Arthur. One more mercy and you're out." Arthur worked that same grocery store for 35 years, same faded uniform, same $12 an hour. Every week for a decade, he secretly gave his own lunch to the homeless kids outside the store. One afternoon, Arthur caught a group of teenagers spray painting the back of the building. Instead of calling the precinct, he handed them brushes and offered to teach them how to paint murals. One of those kids, a boy named Leo, stopped painting and started listening to Arthur's life advice. Leo began coming by every day, and Arthur eventually helped him fill out his first college application. But the store was suddenly bought by a cold, massive corporation called Titan Industries. The new regional manager, a man named Sterling, arrived with a list of dead-weight employees. Sterling didn't like Arthur's community projects and demanded he stop talking to the neighborhood kids. Sterling even tried to cut Arthur's hours to force him to quit, but Arthur stayed, working double shifts. On Arthur's 70th birthday, Sterling handed him a cardboard box and a final paycheck. "Efficiency over sentiment, Arthur. You're too slow. You're fired. No pension, no severance." Arthur tried to argue, but security, his own former students, were ordered to escort him out. As he was leaving, Arthur noticed Sterling shredding a stack of inventory error reports in his office. Arthur realized Sterling was embezzling millions and using the firing of seniors as a distraction. He tried to call the corporate whistleblower hotline, but Sterling had already deactivated his employee ID. Arthur went to the local police, but without physical evidence, the sergeant told him to just go home. Within months, Arthur's small savings vanished on heart medication he could no longer afford. His landlord, a man who Arthur had once helped, didn't care. He filed for Arthur's eviction anyway. The landlord even sold Arthur's few belongings on the sidewalk to cover the cleaning fees. Arthur packed his only suit into a plastic bag and headed to a rival security firm for a job interview. He was walking toward the office in the pouring rain when his chest tightened with a crushing pain. He collapsed on the freezing sidewalk, clutching the metal railing of a massive skyscraper. Dozens of people in expensive suits stepped over him, assuming he was just another broken soul. One woman even complained to a lobby guard that Arthur's body was ruining the aesthetic of the building. Suddenly, a black SUV screeched to a halt in the middle of the busy, four-lane street. A man in a designer suit sprinted out, ignoring his bodyguards, his ringing phone, and the rain. "Sir, can you hear me? Arthur," the man yelled, beginning chest compressions immediately. The man refused to stop even when the paramedics arrived, shouting, "He didn't give up on me, I won't give up on him." Arthur woke up 3 days later in a private hospital suite with a panoramic view of the city skyline. He tried to get up, panicked about the bill, but a nurse gently pushed him back into the silk sheets. "Everything is covered, Arthur. The CEO of Titan Industries has been sleeping in the chair next to you." The door opened, and the man from the SUV walked in, holding a framed, yellowed receipt from 20 years ago. "Arthur, you don't remember me. I was the boy with the bread. My name is Leo." Leo explained that after that day, he vowed to never be hungry again. He studied, worked, and built an empire. "I bought this grocery chain last month specifically to find you," Leo said, his voice breaking with tears. But then came the twist. Leo had been investigating the inventory errors Arthur had tried to report. Sterling didn't just fire you, he tried to frame you for the theft he was committing, Leo revealed. Leo had spent the last week using his private investigators to track down the shredded documents Arthur saw. They found the evidence in a dumpster behind Sterling's house, proof of a $5 million fraud scheme. Leo didn't just pay the medical bills. He handed Arthur a folder containing the deed to his old apartment building. "I bought the whole building from your landlord this morning. You own it now. And the landlord, he's evicted." Leo led Arthur to the hospital window. Down below, Sterling was being loaded into a police car in handcuffs. The man who fired Arthur for being too slow was now being charged with corporate fraud and racketeering. Leo then offered Arthur a new role, Chief of Global Security and Ethics for Titan Industries. "You taught me that mercy is more powerful than money," Leo whispered. "Now help me run this company." Arthur's first act was to rehire every senior employee Sterling had unfairly fired, with full back pay. He also turned the empty lot next to the grocery store into a free community kitchen for hungry kids. Drop a heart if you believe kindness always finds its way back home. Subscribe